All right, this is Deanna Marie, and welcome back here to the Clusie. And today we're going to be talking about how you aren't going to build a golden calf. Okay, so let's get started. All right, today's Bible verse is going to be Genesis 32. 8. Make sure you open up your Bibles, let God talk to you, pray, you talk to Him, open up the lines of communication, and I'm going to be talking about Genesis 32 in general today. Okay, so at this point in the Bible, what's going on is Moses is on the top of the mountain getting the 10 commandments from God, right? The people of Israel are down at the bottom waiting there with Aaron for Moses to come down, right? What happens is they get a little impatient. They think God's forgotten about them. They get a little worried, and the worry turns into, God left us. Where's this fellow Moses? We don't want to wait anymore. So give us something to worship, okay? So Aaron, instead of sticking up for God and Moses and saying, hey, no, we're going to wait. God, these were the directions that God gave us. We're going to wait as long as it takes, He's like, well, give me all of your gold jewelry. Now, the gold jewelry, on a side note, is also the gifts that God gave the people of Israel when they were leaving Egypt, when God set them free. All the Egyptians gave them all of this stuff, right? So Aaron's great idea is, hey, we're going to melt it down. We're going to build a golden calf, right? And then we're going to go do the same things that made us comfortable, right? Because they saw all this happening in Egypt. This is what the Egyptians were doing there, right? So they went back to something that was comfortable when God put them in a little bit of an uncomfortable position, right? There was a little bit of unknownness, like they needed to trust, right? And instead of trusting God and trusting what He said, they chose to go back and do something that they thought worked for the Egyptians. They completely forgot about how God set them free, how God did all the 10 plagues. They forgot all about that stuff. And they decided that they would rather do what everyone else was doing. So build us a golden calf. We want to worship it. And that's what they end up doing. And God sees it. And he is like just talking with Moses about finishing up the directions. They were probably wrapping things up, right? And the people couldn't wait. And Moses gets told to go back down the hill because people are worshiping a golden calf, like this image that they made, and it was wrong. That is not who set them free, right? Because now they're being disrespectful, and Aaron's like, these are the gods that set you free from Egypt. Like, how disrespectful. And it all stems from them being in an uncomfortable situation and leading them to do something that felt comfortable, right? It was a temporary fix. So they just went back to something that they used to do. So what does God want to talk to you about today? If He has told you to do something, you are to follow the last instructions that He gave you until you get the further instructions. All they had to do was just wait a little bit longer, and they would have had the 10 commandments, all this stuff, everything that they needed to go to the promised land. But they didn't want to do that. They got worried. They thought, this is taking too long. Oh, it doesn't look like what I thought it was going to look like. I thought that I was going to be, some of you guys are like, I thought my business was going to be up here, or I thought that I was going to have this much money, or I thought I would be married by now, and I can't find a spouse. I thought. So let me do something different. Let me step away from God's path because it's taking too long and I feel like it's not working. And so you go out there and you make a bad decision. And people do it all the time. Just wait. Do the last thing that He told you to do and wait. If you don't know what to do, don't do anything at all. Pray for clarification. Talk to God. All those people had to do, instead of making that, it took way more effort to go out of their way and worship something that wasn't God than to just open up the Word or just pray and have God say, you don't think God would have given them confirmation? Yeah, that's what I said. Sit there and wait. I'm not asking you to do anything crazy. And sometimes that's the most difficult thing to do, in all honesty, is what God said. He told you that He's going to do something, and the directions are just sit and wait. And impatience and our human nature and our distrust and our doubt lead us into something that we shouldn't be doing. So we step outside of God's will. And that is what I want you to avoid. If God has said sit still and wait, he's going to do it. You can take it to the bank. He's not a man that he should lie. He's going to do it. Sit and wait if he's said to do that. You know what those people should have been doing? Praying. You know what? You get a little down. Think about what's going to happen when the blessing does arrive. Think about all the plans you can make. Okay, you're not married right now. All right, work on something. How can you be a better husband? Go over to this. How can you be a better wife? I don't know, daydream about your wedding. I don't know, whatever it is that you have to do to get through the waiting process, but don't step outside of God's will and use something that you used to use or do, or go back to your old friends, or go back to your old life, or go back to this old type of situation just because that makes you feel more comfortable, because you're in a little bit of an uncomfortable position right now with God. You're in the unknown part. Listen, sometimes sitting still and waiting is hard, but there is a blessing in it. If you trust, if you praise, if you sit there and you do that, that shows God that you're ready for it, and you will bring it about faster if you just get through that waiting process. Okay? So what are you going to do? You're going to put yourself in this situation where you are going to trust. Don't go outside of the lines to find something that you shouldn't find in the first place. All right? So anyways, like, share, subscribe, and comment as always, and I will see you guys back here next time.